Sound check. Blah, blah, blah. I can't hear myself. Nope. Sound check. Test 1, 2. Getting ready for Lake against Troy. Coming up in just a moment. So kind of low. Is the sound level kind of low? Is it okay? It's not too low? What number the Lake goalie is? Got it on his sleeve. I can't tell. Oh, okay, he did it. He was there yesterday. Yeah, he did it yesterday. I can't hear myself very well. That's better. I say I turned the phones up, but I shouldn't have to turn the phones up that far. Good afternoon, everyone, from Kettering Ice Arena. Welcome to high school tournament hockey. It's the consolation game of the Frozen Creek tournament hosted by Beaver Creek High School. Today's participants are Troy High School and the Lake Flyers, Lake from the Toledo area. They are a club team, which is a team comprised of high school players from various high schools, whereas it's Troy High School. So it's a club team up against a high school team this afternoon, and it's for third place for the Frozen Creek tournament. Running down the scores, of the tournament so far. On Friday night, Troy beat Mason 10-0. St. X of Kentucky beat Lake 6-3. Beaver Creek beat Lexington 4-1. Yesterday, Lake beat Mason 17-1. Troy beat Lexington 5-2. St. X and Louisville and Beaver Creek tied 2-2. Lexington lost to Lake 6-3. St. X beat Mason 6-2. Beaver Creek beat Troy 5-0. And in the fifth place game, today it was Lexington 6 and Mason 4. So Lexington finishes in fifth place. The winner of this game will finish third, and obviously the loser of today's game will finish fourth. The Troy Trojans are coached by Rick Zabo, and assistant coach is Preston Howells. The Lake Flyers coached by Ron Kenny, and assistant coaches Craig Horvath and Dave Jardine. Alongside producer engineer Cherie Champagne, my name is Kent Jacobs. We appreciate you joining us this afternoon on what here in the Dayton, Ohio area is a rainy Saturday afternoon. Our public address announcer, Josh Cox, is going to announce the starting lineups for each team.
The starting lineup for the Lake Flyers.
The Lake Flyers, here they are.
Number 3, Mason Jardine.
Mason Jardine. Eli Moody comes out to the blue line.
Number 9,
Ben Loomis comes out to the blue line. Alexa Urbani, young lady, she comes out to the blue line.
Number 17, Clay
Clay Soltis, who was a star player for the Trojans yesterday, he got a hat trick.
Number 20, Ian Schwab.
Ian Schwab will be the starting goaltender for the Lake Flyers, and here are the rest of the Flyers coming out to the blue line. Now for today's home team, the Troy Trojans, Colin Berghardt.
At defense, number 20, Brady Campbell.
Brady Campbell, the other defenseman, starting.
Number 8, Brady Smith.
Brady Smith at forward.
Forward, number 14, Ian Francis Knott.
Ian Francis Knott, that's a hyphenated name, comes out to the blue line. Carson Smith.
Finding the net for the Troy Trojans, number 1, Noah Carver.
And Noah Carver, the starting netminder for the Troy Trojans.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Now, everyone, please stand by for the playing of the national anthem. The Lake Flyers are, again, this game's road team. They are decked out in gray sweaters with navy blue pants and with kind of a sky blue and navy blue trim. While the Troy Trojans, today's home team, are in their white sweaters with red trunks and red and gray trim. The officials for today's game are Dan McClurg and the long arm of the law, and that's Bill Peck. He's a retired state highway patrolman, so I call him the long arm of the law. Anytime he sends you to the penalty box, it's just a little extra special. Being a former lawman. At center ice, Brady Smith for the Troy Trojans, waiting for the opening face-off. Now the Lake Flyers are breaking their huddle and coming to the rink. And it's going to be the puck drop, and we're underway as Ian Francis Knott took the draw for Lake. And here they come, a shot. Carver the save. And on the rebound, it's tipped back to Ian Carver at the top of his crease, and he's able to grab the puck. Ian Carver between the pipes for Troy, and the goalkeeper for the Lake Flyers, Ian Schwab. Both of these young gentlemen played yesterday's games for these two teams. Trojans tip it down the ice after it. Brady Smith, but the Flyers were able to get it out or catch up to it in their own end. Here come the Flyers. There's a shot, and they score! I'll have to get the number of that player. That is Clay Soltis. And Clay Soltis, again, as I mentioned during the introductions, he was a star yesterday. As he scored a hat trick in one of their late games yesterday.
Goal number 17, Clay Soltis. Assist number 9, Ben Loomis.
Ben Loomis is the assist man on that goal. There's another shot in front, and they score! And the Lake Flyers jump out to a 2-0 lead. Wow. And that goal looks like it is scored by James Bickley, number 25. Bickley was very active yesterday in the late games.
James Bickley. Assisted by number 7, Bowden Stoller. Number 12, Ashton Graham.
So the assists on that play to Stoller and Graham. So boy, the Trojans now, if they're going to have to play from behind early on. Trojans came into this tournament undefeated, and they won their first game, and then they lost yesterday to Beaver Creek for their first loss of the season. And they're trying to get back on the schneid and back on the winning ledger this afternoon. The Lake Flyers are looking to make a nice third place showing today with a win. Puck clear down the ice. Ian Schwab, the goalie, will set it up for teammate Eli Moody. Moody ridden into the boards. Loose puck behind the net. Here come the Flyers. Trying to start back. Pass up ahead for a shot, and the save made by Troy netminder Noah Carver. I was mentioning to our producer before the game, the Lake uniforms, the light blue letters on the gray sweaters make it kind of hard to see for a media member like myself. It's kind of hard to see their numbers sometimes. So if I hesitate on some of the player names, it's because I can't make the number out. Now it's Soltis. He chops it back into the Troy zone. Carver will set it up for Luke Harris. Pass at center for Cam Lombardo. He's checked. Puck to Gavin Burris. He centers the puck. It's broken up by the Flyers. After it for Lake, Bowden Stoller. He is checked, can't get it out, but now it's carried to center by Soltis into the Troy zone. Shoots, he scores! Clay Soltis with his second goal of the game, and we've only played 3 minutes. We have our chat line open, so anyone watching from either the Troy contingent or the Lake contingent, make sure you send us a message. Just type it in and we'll try to read it over the air for you. Here's an offside against Lake, and we'll have a face-off on the near dot outside the Troy zone. Andrew Condi will, now we've got a timeout by the Flyers. They have to or rather by Troy. Troy timeout. The Trojans are going to have to regroup as they've given up 3 goals in the first 3 minutes. That's a goal a minute, so that would be 45. They're on pace to get 45 goals. But hopefully for the Troy contingent, Coach Zabo and assistant Coach Howes can get the Trojans back online. And of course, it's always difficult. It's 12 noon, and they played at 2 games yesterday, so they could be a little sluggish. I know the announcer is. The producer is. So, but hopefully for the Trojans, they can get things back together. And as for the Lake Flyers, they are flying high at the moment. Again, later on this same YouTube channel will be the championship game of this tournament. The St. Xavier of Louisville Tigers against the Beaver Creek Beavers. Urbani sends it over to Loomis from the draw at center. Into the Troy zone behind the net. Trying to dig the puck out for the Trojans, Condi, but it comes out to the blue line, held in for a shot by Eli Moody, and it was right into the glove of Carver. He didn't have to move his mitt. It sailed right in there. And Noah will hold on to it. And now we've got Ashton Graham taking the draw, but the Trojans win it. Here they come the other way. Here comes Francis. Not a shot. And that puck is caught by the right hand of southpaw goalie Ian Schwab. And he'll hold on to it for face-off down in the Lake zone. Again, the Lake Flyers from the Toledo, Northwest Ohio area. Here comes a breakout the other way. 2-on-1 for the Flyers. A shot. Carver the save. He lost the rebound, and it's fired high and wide by the Lake Flyers. Now behind the net, there's Bickley. Bickley over for Saltis. Back to Bickley. Looking in front, and fanning on the shot was Bailey Coe, but the Flyers hold in. Shot to the near corner. There's Stoller for Bickley. Shot, pad save. Here come the Trojans from the rebound. And the Flyers, that's Bailey Coe just picking the pocket of one of the Trojans, and back they come. Bowden Stoller over the Trojan line into the corner. Drops it back to the point. There's a shot that's wide of the Trojan goal. Again, the Trojans in the white sweaters trailing at 3-0. There's a icing call waved off because one of the Trojans tipped the puck with his stick. Now there's a centering pass for Carson Smith, but he's bumped off the play. And the puck is cleared out. Now for the Flyers, Cooper Sexton, or rather the Trojans. He lost it. Here come Bailey Coe of the Flyers. He's pinned between two Trojans and loses the puck. Centering pass intercepted by the Trojans, and here they come. Ian Francis Watt drops it off for Harris. Bounced off the back of the Flyer cage, and the puck unable to be held in at the point by Cannon Crawford. We learned last night his nickname is Cannon. Pass at center. Here come the Troy Trojans. Burris over for a shot by Scalise. The save, and the save on the rebound is made as well by Ian Schwab. Oh, hi. And we'll have a face-off in the left wing circle of the Flyer zone. From the draw, there is Berghardt. Drops it in the corner. Volleyed around by players on both teams. It's still loose. Now the Flyers come away with it. And the referee has his hand up. I think it's delayed penalty possibly against Troy. And yes, it was. And as Luke Harris plays the puck for Troy, there is a penalty. Interference against one of the Trojans. And it is young Mr. Gavin Burris. So Gavin Burris is in the box for a couple of minutes for interference. So that's the last thing the Trojans needed right now, trailing 3-0 early, was to have to kill a penalty. But they will have to do so. Face off in the Troy zone. From the draw, a shot just wide of the near post of the Troy goal. Bickley for the Lake Flyers. Bickley looking for an outlet. Drops it off on the right wing. Shot, save, rebound. Still loose, another shot, and they score! On like a double rebound, Carver was down, and that second rebound is put in by Ashton Graham, number 12. And the Flyers a power play goal, and they lead it 4-0. We're down to 8:10 left in the opening period.
Number 3, Mason Jardine.
Oh, Jardine.
Number 12, Ashton Graham. And number 25, James Bickley.
So they give the goal to Jardine. I saw Graham come over toward the bench first, and usually the goal scorer comes over first to get the handshakes, but the refs give it to Jardine. Assisted by Bickley and Graham. A power play goal, and it's 4-0 for the Lake Flyers. Here come the Trojans. They have to get things going. And Brady Smith a shot. Save in and out of the mitt of Schwab. Flyers play the puck from the carom of the rebound. Stoller on, or check that, Jardine on left wing, cutting in, a shot, and that's wide of the Troy net. There is Clay Soltis at center. Passes to the Troy line. The Trojans will shoot all the way back behind the Lake net. Icing waved off. Here come the Lake Flyers, 2-on-3. Cutting behind the net is Loomis. And a whistle. And the net came loose, so there will be a face-off. So that last goal, a power play goal, and it was credited to Mason Jardine with assist to Graham and Bickley. And looks like we're offside at the Lake blue line. Gavin Burris will take the face-off against Ashton Graham. From the draw, Flyers chop it down the ice. After it for the Trojans, Andrew Condi. He's checked, Flyers take it. Puck shot now behind the net. Puck down to the right wing circle, puck centered, and that was for Bickley for a tip, but it got past him. He fanned on that one-time tip attempt. 6 minutes to go in the period. 4-0 for the Lake Flyers in gray. The winner of this contest finishes third in this Frozen Creek Thanksgiving holiday tournament. hosted by Beaver Creek High School, and the Beavers themselves will play for the title in the second game. There's another centering pass. That looked like for Harder. For a tip attempt that was just a little ahead of him. Now back is Luke Steep of the Lake Flyers. Luke Steep behind his own net. Trying to carry the puck out, has it stripped away from him by Barnes of Troy. He wraps it around along the near boards for teammate Harris. Centering pass, looking for Gabby Paff, but that's broken up. Pass at center, intercepted by the Flyers' Bailey Coe over the Troy line. Poke checked. Loose puck, shot blocked on defense by Cooper Sexton. He has it. He bangs around the far side. He's checked in the corner, still has it. Sexton trying to clear his zone, he does. But there at center to play it for the Flyers is Eli Moody. He'll dump it in behind the Trojans' net. Puck loose along the near boards. It's held in for a shot by Soltis. He scores! What a shot! Trojans unable to clear the zone. The Flyers hold it in. It comes over to Soltis, number 17. And a great shot as he picks the upper far corner of the Troy goal. And Soltis has a first period hat trick. There's another blast and a save. So Soltis, I guess, unassisted. I didn't hear an assist. So a hat trick within 10 and a half minutes of play by Clay Soltis, S-O-L-T-I-S. Not a bad day at the office so far. Play in the Lake zone. The Trojans need to get on the board. They trail at 5-0. Here comes Soltis again. One-man wrecking crew. He's checked down to the ice. Now he centers the puck, but the Trojans will ice it to take the pressure off their net. Clay Soltis looking for a fourth goal in this first period. I'm sure Coach Zabo and his staff will be having a conversation about trying to contain number 17, Mr. Soltis, when they meet after the period. There's a nice pass over for Luke Harris. His shot is blocked by Luke Vida of the Lake Flyers. Trojans have it at center. Harris over the Flyer line, looking to center it. It's picked off, but then held in by the Trojans' Lombardo, and a shot on net, and a save made by Ian Schwab. Clock stopped with 3:14. Shots on net so far. No doubt favoring the Flyers now, 17-4. Face off in the Flyers' own shot. Schwab the save, and trying to stuff in the rebound was Eli Wenning of the Trojans. Now Gabby Paff, number 2, will take the puck, or take the face-off against Coe of Lake. Coe wins the draw, and back he comes through center ice. Coe into the Detroit zone, drops it off into the corner for Bickley. Bickley ridden into the boards. A nice check by the Trojans' Ian Francis Knott. Or that might have been Cooper Sexton. It might have been number 4 instead of 14. And now we've got a whistle, and the puck flipped over the glass, and we'll have a face-off. Face-off, right wing circle of the Troy zone, with the Trojans trailing the Lake Flyers, who were in the gray sweaters. 5-0. There's a shot. Carver the save. He gobbles that up, and we will do it again. Coe against Smith for Troy. From the face-off, Flyers bang the puck along the dasher to the near boards. It's tied up, shot behind the net now for Harris. He centers it, save made by Carver. Here come the Trojans. Nice move by Smith. Brady Smith behind the net, trying to center it. And the Trojans ain't able to get a tip on it. Puck cleared away to center. From the neutral zone, Colin Burkhart will pull the trigger. Shot. And that's off a stick over the glass. Into the netting above the glass. And with 2:04 to go in the period, there will be a face-off in the Lake Flyer zone. And the Lake Flyers consisting of players from different parts of the northwestern Ohio area. Michaela Stacy says, does Beaver Creek play again today for first spot? Michaela, you are precisely correct. They do. They play the next game, scheduled for 2 o'clock, against the St. Xavier of Louisville, Kentucky Tigers. And that will be for first place in the tournament. Flyers clear, not out. Trojans hold in. There's Gavin Burris trying to center. It's off the side of the net. Luke Harris behind the net is checked. Loose puck, Flyers get it out. Up ahead for Flyers Staten. Shot, and they score! That puck deflected in. I think it may have been deflected in off one of the Trojans who was standing in front of the crease. It looks like, I'll wait for the announcement on the goal. Looks like Ashton Graham, but I'll wait till our PA announcer Josh Cox gives the official pronouncement of who the goal belonged to for the Flyers. They lead it now 6-0. I believe it was Ashton Graham on the goal, but we'll find out here in a moment.
Flyer goal number 8, Jacob Harder.
And it's Jake Harder.
Assisted by number 16, Dallas Staten.
And it was Dallas Staten on the assist. So I was completely wrong. I saw it looked like number 12 come to the bench first, but no, it is Jake Harder, number 8, who gets the goal for the Trojans. 40 seconds left in what's been a nightmarish first period for the Troy Trojans. They trail it 6-0. There's an icing violation against the Lake Flyers. Now 33 seconds left in the first. Face off, right wing circle, Lake zone. It's Brady Smith for Troy. And one of the Flyers is tossed out of the circle. And I can't see the number of who took the draw. Looks like it was Mason Jardine. He wins it to Alexa Urbani. She passes over for Nowicki. Return pass for Urbani is too far ahead of her and down the ice, and now the Trojans dump behind the Flyer goal. 10 seconds left in the first period. Puck skitters all the way down in the Troy zone. No icing as Burkhart plays the puck before it hits the goal line. Pass ahead for Brady Smith, but the buzzer is going to sound. And that's the end of a first period that the Troy Trojans would like to forget. What a rough one. The Lake Flyers put up a half a dozen, including a hat trick by Clay Soltis. And they lead the Trojans after one period 6-0. Got a message from Michaela Stacy. She says, thank you. You're such a great commentator. Thank you, Michaela. That's very nice. And you definitely make every live stream just so much better. Thank you for all you do. Well, thank you, Michaela. That's very kind, and we appreciate the kind comments. That's very nice. Well, running down the goal scorers for the Flyers as they'll be back on the ice here in a minute. Clay Soltis with 3, James Bickley with 1, Mason Jardine 1, and Jake Harder with a goal. And later on we'll go over the assists. I'm going to tie my shoe, folks, so I don't trip and fall over the edge.
Well, at least it didn't hold on to your
That'll flip over the edge, and it'll be my early demise during the consolation game. All right, folks, we are ready for the second period. I'm sure Coach Zabo had some advice for the Troy Trojans as they come out for the second, and they can get back in this game. I mean, if they can put a few goals on the board in this period and try to keep the Flyers off, then they can get back in it. Flyers moving left to right in this period, and winning the face-off for Troy is Brady Smith. At center ice, here's Cannon Crawford. He dumps it in the Lake zone. They flip it up here, almost up here. Here's a fan on a shot by the Flyers' Dallas Staton. He had a point-blank shot on the Troy net. Puck is banged around to the far side. Held in for the Flyers. Behind the Troy net. Here is Bowden Stoller. Rims it around this side to Lake's David Dunn, but it's taken away by Brady Smith. Then he lost the puck. Back to get it for the Flyers is David Dunn. Dunn pass to the far side. Now at center for Bickley, picked off by Cam Lombardo of the Trojans, but as he carries in the Lake zone, that play is whistled down offside. We are a minute into the second period. Pass at center for Luke Vida. Vida slides it in the Troy zone. Trojans get it out. Now it's Anthony Scalise who chips the puck to center, but bumped back in offside by the Flyers. It'll be Ashton Graham taking the face off against Gavin Burris. From the face-off, shot in and then emptied right back out of the Troy zone. Icing waved off. Deep in the Lake zone, there's a shot, and they score, and that's friendly fire. Puck tipped in by I think it was Lake's. Poor guy, and that's Eli Moody. He had his stick down, which is good, in front of the net, but the Troy shot tipped in off of him, so the referees will credit it to the Troy player, I think, that's closest to the play. We'll see who that was here in a moment. That gets the Trojans on the board. And that puck bounced in off the stick of one of the Lake players. That's what happens. Nothing bad can happen when you throw the puck toward the net, and that's what the Trojans did. And sometimes you get a lucky tip, lucky deflection, and that's what they got. That's why it's always good to put the puck toward the net. Don't get too cute with it sometimes. Sometimes players look for one fancy pass too many, when sometimes it's better to just unload and look for rebounds, look for tips.
Trojan goal number 6, Miles Schumann, unassisted.
There's a shot. Save made by Carver. That goal credited to Miles Schumann of Troy. Miles Schumann, number 6. Now here's Coe trying to slip it in. Carver down, and he covers it. So Miles Schumann unassisted. What? Oh, yeah, Troy. Yeah, 6-1. 3 minutes into the period now. Here comes a shot by Brady Smith of Troy that's high and wide. There's another blast from Sexton, and that's wide of the mark. And the carom off the end boards comes all the way to center. Chipping the puck ahead is Clay Soltis. But back comes Brady Smith of Troy. Maybe that goal will kind of wake the Trojans up and get them going. Here's a nice pass to Urbani, it looks like, and she's bumped off the puck right before she could pull the trigger on a shot. Centered again, and here's Urbani, a shot! And a save made by Carver. As Alexa Urbani trying to pick that far side of the net. But Noah Carver, he's tightened things up here in this period. Ashton Graham takes the face off for Lake. It's dumped behind the net, played by Jack Crawford, and there's a shot. Save made by Carver. And Noah will hold on to it. Face off Graham against, looks like Burris. Burris wins it, but the puck taken away by the Lake Flyers. Ashton Graham has his pocket picked. Graham gets it back, or check it, that's Bickley. Bickley dumps it behind the net in the Troy zone. Centering pass broken up by Burris. There's Cannon Crawford for Troy. He clears, not out, held in at the left point. Rimmed right in front off a stick, and it's shot up into the Lake Flyer bench. And that will result in a face-off. 10:44 to go. Shots on goal at this point. Favors Lake 23-7 unofficially. And it's going to be, looks like Jake Harder taking the draw for Lake. Over for Dunn. Dunn's checked, bumped off the puck by Barnes. Barnes' pass is deflected and taken away. Here come the Lake Flyers. Spencer Barnes Pass in front is picked off by the Trojans. Back they come. Here comes Will Barnes trying to shoot. He's checked. Centering pass gets through. Gabby Paff, she was positioned in front of the net, but the pass behind her. Loose puck, Cooper Sexton. Sexton in the corner of his own zone, trying to get it out. And they do, and the Lake Flyers will play the puck. Bailey Coe at center. Pass picked off. That was by Will Barnes into the Lake zone. Shoots, pad save, rebound. Still free, and where is it? Lying down flat on his back is the goaltender Ian Schwab, and it looks like he has it. Trojans very close to scoring again, and I said they need to really, they need to put 3 goals on the board in this period just to have a chance in the third. They would have to get 3 in both of these periods. There's a shot, pad save by Ian Schwab, who's had a very quiet day so far, but the Trojans putting some pressure on him now. Dallas Staten for Lake carried into the Troy zone. He's checked, the puck cleared out. Here's Brady Smith, semi-breakaway, and he shoots, and he scores! Brady Smith, and his initial shot attempt on that semi-breakaway, he kind of fanned on it, but the puck slipped over to his backhand side, and then he was able to stuff it in. Yeah, Brady Smith, great play, great individual effort by
Trojan goal number 8, Brady Smith. Unassisted.
And that goal unassisted, so both Troy goals unassisted. They now trail it 6-2. There's a long shot from center, again by Smith, and it's on goal. Save made by Schwab. Pass to Dallas Staten of the Flyers. Staten turns, gets checked, loses the puck, and the Trojans come away with it. Here is Smith shoveling the puck ahead. Flyers play it, and a lost puck at neutral ice. The Flyers, I think, have gotten a little bit comfortable. Long shot from center as their play has kind of loosened up a little bit, not in a good way. And that can happen with a big lead. They led 6-0 after 1, and it's hard to maintain your intensity when you have that big of a lead early. Now the Trojans trying to get back in the game. Loose puck at the top of the slot of the Lake zone. Soltis carries to center, but has it picked from behind by Ian Francis Knott, who dumps back behind the Lake goal. Centering pass, loose, but the Flyers will ice the puck. And with 7:50 to go as we approach the midway point of this game, another face-off in the Lake Flyer zone. Get our chat line open, whether you're a Lake Flyer fan or a Troy Trojan fan. We'd like to hear from you, or even if you're a Beaver Creek fan, like we heard from Michaela Stacy earlier, and you just want to say hello or say what player you're rooting for or where you're watching from or listening from. You can use your cell phone as a transistor radio and just listen to the game and send us a chat. Centering pass by Jardine, broken up. Flyers maintain possession in the Troy zone. Puck dumped in the corner. Now behind the net to Jardine. Jardine checked into the boards. Flyers still have it. There's a nice defense by the Trojans to tie up that would look like Soltis. Now a shot at the other end, and Ian Schwab makes the save. Plays Soltis for the Lake Flyers, the star of the game so far. He's had a hat trick, and he had a hat trick in the first 10 and a half minutes of the game in that first period. Now it's Gabby Paff taking the draw against Coe. Paff tipped the puck, but over to a Lake Flyer player. They come back. There's a shot, and it's high and wide of the net in the Troy zone. Tipping the puck away for the Trojans, Will Barnes. Barnes back in the Lake zone, ridden into the boards. Puck comes free to the left wing. Burghart held it in momentarily, but now back come the Flyers. Ashton Graham into the Troy zone, and Paff tries to clear it out. There's a shot from the point, blocked on defense. Puck still loose in front. Carver down, but so are a couple of players in front. Puck still live. It's Graham coming away with it. Circles, drops it off. There's a big check by Burghart to bump the puck away and to neutral ice. And the Flyers have to go back. Coe plays it. Now a pass over to Graham off his stick. He picks it up, carries in to the Troy zone, passes over for a shot, and that's partially fanned on and wide. Under 6 minutes to go. Shot from the left point. They were looking for a tip, but Carver is able to cover it as he comes out of his crease to cut off that angle, and that was a tip attempt by Ashton Graham. And from the face-off, that puck is chipped up over the glass, and we'll redo the face-off. And it's Brady Smith against, it looks like, Dallas Staten for Lake. There's Cooper Sexton of the Trojans. He'll shovel it off the dasher board, but not out. Held in at the point by Loomis. Centers, and a shot is wide. And the puck cleared away by the Trojans. After it, Brady Smith trying to fight off a Trojan, trying to move it in front as he had two players coming with him. And now a shot, save, rebound to the near boards. Brady Smith bangs around behind the net with Ben Loomis. Loose puck, Smith to the point. Sexton tees it up, long shot, and they score! Well, let's wait for the official word. And the goal came loose. And no goal. It looked like it banged in under the crossbar. The net was off. So the puck went in, but after the net came loose. So no goal. Here's Sexton again, a shot, and it's wide. Sexton almost scoring a moment ago. Flyers trying to come away with it. After it, Dallas Staten spins, and he's checked, bumped off the puck nicely by Cooper Sexton. Boy, the Trojans really have picked up their play here in this second period, on both ends of the rink. Carson Smith for Brady Smith. Brady Smith on left wing. Shoots it in, past Stoller into the corner. Stoller checks Smith into the boards. Smith still after it. So is Miles Schumann. Puck kicks free over to the Flyers on the opposite corner. And they look to move it out. Puck shot to center. Trojans get it back. After it for Troy is Ian Francis Knott. He's checked. Loose puck, fighting for it is Carson Smith. Flyers, there's a big check on one of the Flyer players. He's down on the ice. And we've got a cross check, I think, against a Troy player. So Brady Smith, he's been playing 100 miles an hour in this period. He's been all over the place. And scored one of the goals for the Trojans, but he's going into the box for 2 minutes for a cross check. So the Lake Flyers, who've seen their momentum be taken away in this period by a resurgent Troy Trojan team. They're going to try to rebuild some of their lead. They led once 6-0. It's now 6-2. Now here is Stoller in front for a shot by Soltis, and making the save is Noah Carver. Face off in the right wing circle of the Troy zone. It's going to be Cam Lombardo against Soltis. Soltis wins the draw, takes the puck himself, circles around to the slot. Soltis trying to drop it off for Stoller, but it's checked away to center ice. Soltis back to get it. Flyers on a power play for another minute 24, but that play is offside. And we'll have another face-off, this time on the far dot outside the Troy zone. Coe and Ruck back on the ice now for Lake. It's Ruck. Toby Ruck, R-U-C-H. Dumps it in, but the Trojans shoot right back down the ice. Back is Coe. Bailey Coe, pass at center. Carried in the Troy zone and right in front. And the puck tipped away. That was Urbani that carried in and tried to get a shot on the Troy net. At center ice, Alexa Urbani for Harder. Shot, pad save, and smothering the puck is Noah Carver. Boy, Alexa Urbani took a big hit here a moment ago, but she popped right back up. 42 seconds left, and the penalty to Smith. Bailey Coe, right point. Slips it off along the boards for teammate Dunn. Puck loose, top of the slot, and the Trojans able to empty it out back behind the Flyer net at the other end. After it for the Lake Flyers is Toby Ruck. Ruck is checked by Francis Knott, but the puck is shot to center. Now shot right back behind the Flyer net. Good penalty killing right now by the Troy Trojans. Here's Bailey Coe, and he lost his edge and wipes out. Puck stolen away. Here's Francis Knott, but a nice defensive play for the Flyers by Mason Jardine to thwart what looked like was going to be a point-blank shot for the Trojans, who were shorthanded. Now the penalty's been killed off, and both teams back to full strength. Now 6-2 the score. The Lake Flyers in the gray sweaters. Here's a shot by the Flyers on net, and the save made by Carver. Carver kind of getting out of his crease a little bit to cut off the angle on that shot. Boy, Carver's game, the goalkeeper of Troy, is night and day between the first period and this second period. He's been really tight in that net in the second period, whereas in the first period, obviously that 6-goal count lets you know how things went in the first period. Another shot and the save made by Carver. Bickley takes the draw against Smith. Face off. Won by Smith. Over for Condi of Troy, but they clear it out. After it for the Lake Flyers is Eli Moody. Tips to center, but it's played by Smith of Troy. Long dump into the Lake zone. Flyers clear not out. Sexton holds in behind the net for Wenning. Wenning drops it back to the point for Condi. He lost it, couldn't hold it in. Trojans have to vacate the zone. Now Steep Slides it over to Staten at center. Now Bickley has it. A little bit of sloppy passing by the Flyers. Again, their play has kind of gotten loose in the second period. Pass at center, deflected away by Francis Knott, but it's dumped in. Now Sexton for the Trojans back to get it. We just have 10 seconds left in this period. There's Bailey Smith dumping in the Flyers zone. A shot, stick save made by Ian Schwab, and the buzzer will sound. Well, a very good period for the Troy Trojans, but they still trail it by 4 after 2 in the consolation game of the 26th annual Frozen Creek Tournament, hosted by the Beaver Creek High School Beavers. And the score is the Lake Flyers 6 and the Troy Trojans 2. They will resurface the ice. Okay. Will resurface the ice. Hey, what's going on? We're on camera.
Oh, all right, great.
And we have a guest, Beaver Creek coach Greg Gutterman.
Let me grab a chair over there in the corner.
Okay.
Oh, here, you want this?
Nope, I'll grab that one.
You got it.
But just recapping real quick, they okay.
You don't have a helmet on, so I better take it easy.
For the Lake Flyers, it's been a hat trick in the first period for Lakes Clay Soltis. Goals, 3 other goals by the Flyers. The Troy Trojans come back and they get 2 in the second to get back in the game. And again, we have with us is Beaver Creek High School coach Greg Gutterman, and Greg, the head coach of the Flyers, and of course, or the Beavers, and the Beavers again hosting this tournament. So, Greg, tell us a little bit about this Frozen Creek tournament, 26th annual.
Yeah, 26 years. So Beaver Creek's been around since 1997. 96, 97 was our first season. So we've been doing this every year since. It's a great way to warm up. You know, the club teams like Lake, St. X in this tournament, they can start as early as August, September. So, you know, each of these teams like Lake and St. X coming in, they have 10, you know, or more games under their belt by the time we get to Thanksgiving. Ohio High School Athletic Association restricts our games and restricts our start date. So we couldn't even start until right around Halloween with formal practices, and we couldn't play a game, preseason game, until 11 October, the Veterans Day weekend. So, you know, last weekend, the 19th, 20th, was the first weekend we could have games, right? So we've only got 3-4 games under our belt by the time we get to Thanksgiving. So the only way that we can really kind of amp up quickly is to get in some games against some good competitive teams. So Frozen Creek's our way to do that. And we always look for teams that come into the tournament for parity games, right? We don't want to see, like we saw the other day, we don't like to see that at all. We like to see 1, 2, 3 goal games, right? Keep them close. And that's how teams learn, right? But you don't learn a lot when you get crushed, right? So we really do look for parity games, and we do the same with the Post Ohio District tournament each year in February, where we really work hard to find the teams that we believe are going to be competitive and have fun, right? Because at the end of the day, none of the players out here most likely are going to play pro, right? They're not going to make any money as adults playing hockey, but they're going to learn some valuable traits, characteristics, and values that carry them through their lifetime, but mostly they're going to have fun, right? That's what we do this for, is just have fun. So these kind of things are just a lot of fun for the players. So we're thrilled to do it. And certainly we couldn't do it without you, Cherie, and everybody else with our YouTube stuff, but also, you know, all the parents that are running the tournament, the gate, the clock, the score table, all that stuff, all the stuff that goes into running a 6-team tournament, 12 games over a couple days. It's a lot of work. So really thanks to all of them for what they do.
Now, the whole club team concept, tell us what players are eligible to play on club teams, and how do these club teams even come about?
Yeah, so hockey's a little different than most other sports, high school sports in our area in Ohio, probably most likely across the country. So typically what you'll have, like soccer, my daughters and my son played soccer, because soccer has a high school season, and then when the high school season is over, then they have their club season. So they're separate and distinct, right? And so club is typically made up of any state level, a regional level, or a metropolitan area. They just make up a club, right? And then, and so really, you look at like Lake, they're coming out of the Toledo area. So any high schools in that area that don't have a legitimate high school hockey team, any player going to those schools could play for a club team, right? And they can play for any of the teams up there, right? There's no restrictions on which team you can play for. Now there's supposed to be, but nobody enforces that. Hockey, though, little different, right? The club season and the high school season run together at the exact same time. So every player in our state can choose to play for their high school if they have a high school, and only about 80 of the high schools in Ohio have a legitimate Ohio High School Athletic Association high school team with their athletic director, board of education, approved coaches, and all the program and funding that comes with a high school sport. And certainly the fans, right? I mean, high school sports get fans, right? Because your peers are going to come to support you. But they can choose not to play for a club instead. So we actually have, 2 or 3 kids who are playing club. And they go to Beaver Creek High School. They could be playing for us, but they chose to play club. And that's a decision that they make to play club. And what I like to really say is that the difference is, first off, club in my opinion should be for the kids who don't have a high school team to play for. If you have a high school team to play for, please go play for your high schools and have fun, right? Because the clubs should be intended for the kids who don't have a high school team to play for. But what ends up happening is the clubs get overwhelmed in some cases with players that could be playing for their high school, and then kids who don't have a high school to play for get bumped out and they get orphaned, and now they're not playing anymore. Here's a kid who's been playing for 6-7 years, all the way growing up, and all of a sudden they don't have a team to play for. Well, that's kind of criminal, I think. And then you see teams like Centerville High School in our area, right? They have 5 or 6 or 7 kids that are playing club. If all those kids went back to Centerville and played for their school, they'd have a pretty darn good high school hockey team. But the kids choose to do what they choose to do. And hockey's kind of, peculiar in that way because they have that choice. And I'll never disparage a kid for doing what they think is right, but there's a clear pipeline for hockey. And if you want to play Division I college hockey, you aren't playing for club, and you are not playing for Ohio High School Athletic Association teams in high school. You're playing for Tier 1 and Tier 2 junior teams, USHL and NAHL. Those are the legitimate 2 birthing places for NCAA Division I and pro hockey players. So if you're not one of the best, 400 hockey players in the nation, by the time you're 16, 17, 18 years old, go have fun. Play for your high school. Play for your fans. Be a part of a program. And learn the life lessons that truly matter, that will sustain you, like effort matters, self-belief, and grit, right? You have those 3 things in your belly for the rest of your lives, and you will have a successful life, however you define that. So we really emphasize that that's a program, right? That's the difference between being a club and being a program. We are a program that emphasizes character development over everything else. You will never hear me screaming about a scoreboard. You'll hear me screaming about effort. You'll hear me screaming about, putting your nose down and not believing. You hear me getting upset when a kid doesn't show some perseverance and some grit, but you won't. Scoreboards are insignificant to me. Kids will forget long about the score, but they will remember forever the life lessons that we teach. So that's what we go after in high school sports here at Beaver Creek, and that's why I think the kids are choosing to play for us, and the kids that are eligible to play for us. And I think the kids are families. We have families moving into Beaver Creek to be a part of this program. I think that's a telltale sign that we're doing something right, and we owe it to them to do it right. As I say, Ken, so I'm talking a lot here. This is my way, by the way, folks, of keeping Ken from asking me really hard questions. I just dominate the transmission here. But it's not my program, right? This is their program. So we are a reflection. The coaching staff is a reflection of the players and what the players want and deserve and demand. And we have to be those kind of adult role models for them and set those standards and enforce them. And so that's what we do here. And we're super proud of the program. Super proud of all the parents and the families that support us, and this young man here, Kent Jacobs. Thank you for what you do for us as well.
Do you want to? I'd like to see you plug your publication that you put out.
My book. Yeah. So thanks for that. So yeah, I did publish a book. It's called Hustle and Have Fun. a coach's guide to winning over players and parents. It's available on Amazon in 3 formats: Kindle, paperback, and hardback. The proceeds for that, Kent, a portion of the proceeds are going to go. They will be going to the Academy Hockey Club, and the Academy Hockey Club in our area is devoted to a mission of increasing participation rates and diversity in our sport of ice hockey. It's a very expensive sport. So what the Academy does is provide free learn to play, learn to skate opportunities for our area youth, all the way from little kids all the way up to high school kids, right? And you'll see on the Beaver Creek team, we got 3 or 4 developmental kids. They literally just put skates on for the first time, and the Academy helped them do that. The Academy got them some skates and the slightly used stuff. We're not buying the expensive stuff, you know what I mean? We're a not-for-profit after all. But we were able to gear them up with some equipment, so that takes $1,000 or more off of a cost equation for a kid who wants to try to play hockey late in their high school years. I say go for it, right? And let's get them playing, because again, it's not about the game per se; it's about what they're learning from the game that matters. So the book was written short read, 2 hours. It's really the intended audience is coaches and parents of players in all sports, not just hockey. Certainly, all my analogies in the book and stories in the book are hockey related, and some of them called by you, Kent. People can look up some of those stories on YouTube, by the way, and hear it live. But it was written generic enough to be applicable to all coaches. So there's 7 basic lessons. Lesson number 2 in the book is don't worry about the scoreboard, right? It's insignificant. And then I think the chapter on parents and how do you teach character, truly teach character. We all talk about it. Sports teach character. How do you do that? Well, that's a chapter in the book as well. So how do you do that? And so hopefully we'll get some tread worn on that book here on Amazon and get it into some hands of some coaches and some players and some parents, and I think it'll help to increase the overall enjoyment of the sport for the kids at the end of the day, and that's what we should be doing. Keep them playing.
And you guys, Beaver Creek High School, are in the championship game coming up against St. X. How do you see that game? A little preview to that game.
Yeah, so what a great battle yesterday, right? So we've got, an opportunity here to play a pretty good hockey team. You look, though, it's kind of an interesting thing. If you look year to year to year, you never know what you're going to get. St. X last year, I think they were in the lower bottom end, if you will, of the Kentucky high schools. Now they're in the top end, and they're taking it to the old school teams, Owensboro and Northern Kentucky, and they're just doing great. So what a difference a year makes, right? What a difference a few players can make. So St. X is truly going to be a great challenge for us, as they were yesterday. And if you replay the game, it was 4 mistakes. We made 2 and they made 2, right? And we ended up tying that ball game 2-2. So this is going to boil down to a game of mistakes. Who's going to have the more discipline? Who's going to play their position better? Who's going to want it more, right? And put in the effort to go earn it, right? Because nothing's given, everything's earned. And so it's going to be a great battle. We're really looking forward to it. The one unknown is who's going to have the fresher legs, right? This is game 4 in a highly competitive tournament. So it'll be interesting to see who's got the energy. And frankly, I think, if Troy's starting to kind of get their legs under them, but I think if this had been the first game of this tournament, Lake versus Troy, I think we'd have a much different scoreboard. I just think what we're starting to see is a little fatigue on our friends from Southwest Ohio, Troy, and I think this respite here is going to help them. And I'm willing to bet they're going to win the third. Troy will win the third period. They may not win the game, but they're going to win the third period in my estimation, because I think this rest is going to get much needed for them. So a lot of fun, but it'll be a tough one, Kent. So we'll make a couple adjustments based on what we saw from St. X yesterday, and they'll do the same. They're well-coached, well-disciplined hockey team. But let me just finish by saying, we had a terrible accident yesterday. One of their players did trip into the boards, and for the folks online, we did watch that back several times, and it was a lost edge. There was no nefarious activity by my player or their player. It was simply an accident. And he fell awkwardly into the boards, and thank goodness he's okay. And when I say that he's okay, he's not where it could have ended up when you have a hit like that into the board. So he does have a significant concussion, and he does have a broken collarbone that likely will need some surgery. But our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. We never ever want to see that. We do everything we can to make this sport as safe as possible. But there are things like that do happen. So our thoughts and prayers to that St. X player, his family, and his teammates, and that he recovers quickly and well.
Thank you very much. That's Greg Gutterman, head coach of the Beaver Creek Beavers, and Beaver Creek High School hosting this 26th annual Frozen Creek tournament. And the Beavers will be playing, as Greg mentioned, St. X in the championship game coming up next. So congratulations, Greg, on a great tournament, and good luck this afternoon.
Thanks, Ken. And say, listen, we're going to have a special guest come up here in between the second and third period of our game, okay? So you
Sounds
have somebody
good.
to talk to, okay? All right.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much to Coach Gutterman of the Beavers as we are ready for the third and final period of this consolation game between the Troy Trojans and the Lake Flyers for third place in this tournament. And from the face-off, puck shot down on the other end. You want the chair? Oh, right. There's a shot on that, and Noah Carver makes the stop, flopping down to the ice. Again, that net came loose. It gets loose down there. And our officials for today's game, Dan McClurg and Billy Peck. Bill drops the puck. Puck shot all the way down. On net, and it's swept away by Ian Schwab precariously. The puck right in front, and he kind of waited till the last moment. Now another shot and a save by Ian Schwab. Here come the Flyers. Trojans of Troy in the white sweaters, red trunks. They trail at 6-2, but they've scored 2 unanswered goals. And here comes Ian Francis Knott. Pass over a shot, and they score! Carson Smith on a great pass from Ian Francis Knott. He slides the puck over across the slot area, and Carson Smith bangs it home. And it's now 6-3 in favor of Lake. Carson Smith, his second goal of the game. Got a message from Brian Loomis. Great interview with the Beaver Creek coach. Thank you, Brian. Much respect. Good luck in the championship game. Thank you very much.
Carson Smith. Assisted by number 14, Ian Francis Knott.
Smith from Francis Knott. Francis Knott, a hyphenated name. Thanks to Brian Loomis. Thank you for the nice comments. There's a shot right through the goal crease in front of the Lake net. Smith fans on a shot, loose puck, backhanded in front, and by Smith, turned aside by Ian Schwab. Well, if the Troy Trojans score again quickly, then we will have a game on our hands. It's now 6-3. It was 6-0. Here come the Flyers. Pass at center. Again, another one of those kind of lazy passes. But now it's off a stick, picked up by Ashton Graham, moving in, and puck deflected away from the Troy net. There's Ashton Graham shooting, and he score! Ashton Graham, great individual effort. Boy, that's a big goal for the Flyers to probably put this game away with the Trojans surging. Nice individual effort by Ashton Graham, number 12 of the Lake Flyers. They were shut out in the second period. The Trojans had scored the last 3 goals, but now the Flyers back up now 7-3. And again, that's probably the coup de grace for the comeback attempt by the Trojans.
Player goal number 12, Ashton Graham.
That goal unassisted. Great individual effort by Ashton Graham. As the Flyers had given the puck away at center, but it got kicked back into the Troy zone, and Graham made the great effort to get the puck in front and put it in behind Carver. There's another shot. Carver the save. Rebound to the side of the net. Another shot, and that's wide by Moody from the right point. Puck held in by Coe, but emptied out. Now Coe carries back in. He's checked by 2 Trojans, but still has it. Drops it back in the corner. There's a poke check back to Eli Moody at the left point. He'll bang it in behind the net. Now chipped in the corner, back for Vida. Luke Vida, V-I-D-A. Now the Trojans get it out. Down to 11:15 to go in the game. Puck iced by the Trojans. Well, that goal by Graham probably takes some wind out of the sails of the Trojans. They were surging, and as I said, had they gotten the next goal and made it 6-4, then it could have still been anybody's game at that point, but rebuilding the 4-goal lead is huge for Lake. As that's probably going to squelch. There's only 11 minutes left, and the Trojans need 4 goals. Here is Soltis against Paff. Shot from the draw blocked by Paff. Gabby Paff, number 2. And here comes Gabby Paff, working 1-on-2 the other way. She's checked into the boards. Loose puck. Toby Ruck. Pass off a stick. Banging it down the ice was Jake Harder. Deflects now over to Soltis. Clay Soltis wrapped up by Sexton. Nice check by Cooper Sexton. Clay Soltis had a first period hat trick, but has been shut down ever since. Puck flipped up over the glass for a face-off at center. .10:28 left in the period. Shots on goal right now, unofficially, favoring Lake. (31-19). There's a shot that partially blocked, and save made by Noah Carver. That was off the stick of Lake's Dallas Staten. Staten will take the face-off for the Flyers. Again, the Lake Flyers in their gray uniforms, navy blue trim. The Troy Trojans in the white sweaters, red trunks. From the face-off, that cleared, not out. It's off a stick over on the opposite wing to Steep. Steep dumps it in the corner, centers the puck, shot blocked. And here come the Trojans. After it is Smith, a shot, and it's off a stick over the glass. It was Brady Smith. He was looking for a hat trick, as he has 2 goals this afternoon. Brady Smith takes the face-off for the Trojans, but it's won by the Flyers. Coe dumps it to center. Back is Sexton of Troy. Again, this is for 3rd place. This game is for 3rd place in the 26th annual Frozen Creek Tournament. Puck stolen away by the Flyers momentarily, and then the Trojans come back. Here's Brady Smith. Shot, save, rebound, they score! Andrew Scalise, number 5. Gets the rebound. And the Trojans cut the Lake lead now to 7-4. Now, yesterday on the program, number 5 was named Garrity, but I was told last night that number 5 was Andrew Scalise, so we'll see who the PA announces as the goal, whether it's Garrity or Scalise. Here is Soltis trying to pick up the puck in the Troy zone. He fires, he scores. Well, there's a rifle shot from Clay Soltis. He gets back in on the action. His 4th goal of the game as he whistles one past Noah Carver. It's now 8-4 for the Lake Flyers. Still waiting on the announcement of the Troy goal to see if they credit it to Scalise or Garrity. Here's Bickley of Lake. Centers, and no goal. It's knocked off the mooring. And good setup by Bickley. The Flyers trying to score again. Bowden Stoller goes off the ice. I think he was the one that was getting the pass, or it might have been Soltis. From the face-off, shot, pad save, rebound, another save made by Carver. And he will hold on to it. So the Lake Flyers now 8-4 lead. Since the first period ended, the Trojans have outscored the Flyers 4-2, but the Lake Flyers got 6 goals in that wild first period. Puck dropped back to Berghardt at the left point. Colin Berghardt to the left wing circle, shot, save, rebound, flipped up over the crossbar by Cam Lombardo. There's another shot from the right point, blocked in front. Still loose. Nice save, but a rebound, and they score! Schwab swept the puck away on the initial shot. Well, let's see. Are they going to say the goal was loose? The referees, Peck and McClurg, are conferring. And no goal. They're saying no goal. The net was off, so a break for the Flyers. As Ian Schwab swept that puck aside, but it was still left right in front of the crease, and the puck was swept in by the Trojans, but the officials ruled that the net had come loose. Now Gabby Paff wins the face-off. Back for Condi. His shot blocked. Here come the Flyers the other way. Staten tries to center it. He's checked along the boards. Puck shot in offside. Now the Flyers have to retreat. Now they attack the Troy zone again. One of the Troy players banged down to the ice. It looks like that was Berghardt. He's up and he shoots the puck down the ice. Here come the Flyers in gray, leading at 8-4 with 7 minutes left in the game. Sexton moves the puck ahead. for Barnes. It's past him, dumped right back in by the Lake Flyers. Now Sexton behind his own net. Works around a check. Moves on left wing through the neutral zone. The Flyers defend their zone, their blue line. And back they come. Ashton Graham, poke checked away. And a puck kicked to center. 6.5 to go in this one. Carrying the puck in is Jardine. He's bumped down to the ice off the puck by Sexton of Troy. Puck rimmed around to center ice. Now here's Mason Jardine again. Jardine ridden into the boards out of the play. Now here's Brady Smith racing on left wing. Fakes a shot. Works around behind the net. Lost the puck behind him. Flyers dumped to center. Berghardt for the Trojans. He's being shadowed by Urbani of Lake. Puck rimmed around. Soltis at center for Lake. Backtracks to his own line. Now starts out. Works around a couple of checks. Nifty moves. Oh, but then he's poke checked away by Cooper Sexton. He had very niftily moved away from two Troy players. Is niftily a word? I might have invented a word right there. Trojans looking to score. There's a centering pass, but it's banged around and taken away by the Flyers. Another nice move by Soltis. Moving in, fires! He scores! Clay Soltis, and look at him go. He's doing something down there with that stick. What was that? What was he doing with that stick? He did some type of fancy, what was that? I don't know. Some type of celebration. Clay Soltis. Hot dang. Boy, oh boy. Man, oh man. Put a star by that play. My goodness gracious. He works around a couple of Troy players, stick handling like a magician in front of that net, and then he just rifles a wrist shot into the Troy net. And now the Flyers lead at 9-4, and it's goal number 5 of the game for number 17 on the Flyers, Clay Soltis. Now there's a puck stolen in the Troy zone. There's a backhand shot blocked. Now Nowicki has it for the Flyers. One-time blast! They score! Bailey Coe hammers one on a one-timer from the left point. What a shot. And it's now 10-4 in favor of the Lake Flyers. So 10-4 in favor of the Lake Flyers. Puck bounces off the dasher board. Shot in on net. Gloved by Noah Carver. Now 4 minutes to play in this one. There's a pass to Gabby Paff along the boards at center. She has it poke checked away. Teammate Will Barnes dumps in the Lake zone. There's a shot and a pad save by Schwab off the stick of Troy's Brady Campbell. Schwab will make the stop. shot on net. Schwab to save. Gabby Paff takes the draw for Troy. Shot from the draw, blocked. Now moving in. Brady Campbell, shot, save, rebound by Paff, swept aside. Wide of the mark. Gabby Paff a chance on the rebound, a backhander, but that was wide of the mark. Here comes the Lake Flyers' Dallas Staten, and he's stripped away from behind by Wenning of Troy. Pass intercepted, taken away by Jake Harder of Lake. He's checked. Pass off a skate to Gabby Paff at center. She passes over for Carson Smith. And they move in, but losing the puck off a stick was Francis Knott. Now back come the Flyers. Shot wide of the Troy goal. Here comes Brady Smith, and he has the puck poke checked off of his stick. Bailey Coe working 1-on-3. Checked into the far corner of the Troy zone. Still has it. Coe still has it. Drops it back to the point. Wind up a shot, save. Rebound is iced the other way. Hey guys, who got that last goal for Lake? So Ashton Graham is looking to see. That's a second. That last goal, that was his second goal of the game. I was checking to see if he had a hat trick. There's a puck shot in front, but again that net comes off. The mooring on that end of the rink is, I don't know, something. It's a little loose. Down to 1:47 to play. Been a tale of 3 different periods. There's a fan on a tip by Vida right in front of the Trojans' goal. Now it's dumped in by Troy's Cam Lombardo. And back come the Flyers. Ashton Graham has it checked away from him by Luke Harris. He'll slide it in the Flyer zone. Now emptied back out, now dumped back in. But that was dumped in offside as there was a Trojan player in ahead of the puck. Past the Lake blue line. Now the officials confer where to put the face off, and they decide to put it on the far spot outside the Lake zone. It'll be Gabby Paff against, it looks like, Clay Soltis from the draw. There's Soltis working around a check. Backward pass in front. Wow. And again, the net comes loose. It was Colin Burghardt of the Trojans that goes into the boards hard, but he's back on his feet. Again, Clay Soltis showing his stick handling ability with a backhand pass in front that almost resulted in a goal. There's a shot from the right point, a save made by Noah Carver. Now the official, Dan McClurg, directing that the 3 players that attempted to come on the ice were ineligible to to have substitutions. So the three that were on the ice for the Flyers have to take another shift. There's a big hit on one of the Flyers by Berghardt of Troy. Berghardt, one of the bigger players out there. So I'm sure a big hit by him doesn't feel too good. Here's Soltis, fires, it's deflected wide. Now back for the Trojans, winning to Smith behind the net. Brady Smith comes out on left wing. He's shoved off the puck. Puck strays to the near corner of the Lake Flyer zone. There's a shot, saved Schwab as the buzzer sounds, the end of the game. Well, tale of 3 periods. The Lake Flyers win the first period 6-0. The Troy Trojans win the second period 2-0. But the Lake Flyers win. See ya. Hey, take it easy. But the Lake Flyers win the third period 4-2. And hold on, I'm going to try to find out who got that last goal for Troy. Just a moment, please. Hey guys, who got the last goal for Troy? They didn't announce it. Yeah, there was a scrum in front. I didn't know who they credited that to.
You never answered me.
Oh, that's who I
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Intermission Podcast,
That's what I
I would
wanted.
like to thank the Troy Trojans, Lake Flyers, and the fans for participation in this year's 2016 And also on behalf of the West Virginia Victory Hockey Association, we would like to congratulate the Lake Flyers to the third place finish.
Okay, I was waiting to see an announcement on that last Troy goal to see if they said the name Garrity or Scalise, and I'm assured by one of the Troy parents that it was Anthony Scalise who wore number 5 tonight. So let's run down all the scoring, and we'll wrap things up here pretty quick. Got a message from Brian Loomis. Says, thank you, Beaver Creek, for a great tournament again this year. Great job, Kent. Hey, thank you, Brian. That's very kind of you. Appreciate the commentary. See you in February. That sounds good. Thank you very much, Brian. We appreciate that. Thanks to everybody who sent us a chat. Quick rundown, because they're going to have a quick turnaround between games. For the Lake Flyers, Clay Soltis scored 5 goals, and the other goals for the Flyers were scored by Bickley, Jardine, Harden, and 2 by Graham for 10. And then the Troy Trojans, 1 goal scored by Schumann, 2 by Smith, and 1 by Scalise. Winning goaltender today for the Lake Flyers was Ian Schwab. Loser Noah Carver. 3 stars. Let's see how we can do for 3 stars. The number 3 star of the game goes to Brady Smith of Troy for his 2 goals. The number 2 star goes to Ashton Graham of Lake for his 2 goals, and who else could we pick? The number 1 star of the game. He was a guy, man among boys out there, number 17, Clay Soltis, 5 goals. His stick handling work was, it's like he had the puck on the end of a string and he was just swinging it around and just weaving through everybody. Tremendous player, Clay Soltis. And he's the number 1 star of the game with 5 goals. So that'll do it. Third place in the tournament goes to the Lake Flyers. Congratulations to them. And also congratulations to the Troy Trojans. They finished 4th out of the 6 teams. We'll see the Trojans later. And I guess we'll see Lake later too. I don't know. Mr. Loomis said we'll see in February, so is that another tournament? So maybe we'll Lake, maybe. I don't know. Well, hopefully. Well, so we'll see. But congratulations to the Flyers for third place, and also a great effort today by the Trojans as well. So again, speaking for producer engineer Cherie Champagne, cameraman Lance Champagne, I'm Kent Jacobs, and again the final score: the Lake Flyers 10 and the Troy Trojans 4. So thank you very much for watching this Frozen Creek tournament game today, and good afternoon everybody from Kettering Ice Arena in Kettering, Ohio.